Was it you who posted? Somebody posted. Because actually I found Damien to be creepy. Was that you? He's creeping you out since the keeping place. Was that you? And when I read that I thought, oh well, she's going to get a go. So was it horrible when you got to it?
No, because we've got a Facebook message thing going on.
Yeah.
And everyone's going,
thread where you can talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm ahead of everyone, but all these people are coming through and just going, seriously, Damien? I was like, the inviting thing and the...
I know. Someone, you know what the journalist who interviewed me said? She said to me, Louise, who had her story came out today, she said she'd got to that part at least. She hadn't got through the book. And she said, oh my God, she said, how did Damien suddenly get so sexy?
Well, that's the thing, because I was wondering how we've been doing word counts.
Yeah.
Various words that keep cropping up, and one of them was loin. One of them was Damien stiffening.
No! Oh my God. My subconscious is clearly getting through. Oh.
Well, we're trying to find out. Have you ever said before that Damien's redheaded?
In the early books, in the very early books. He's gingerish. It says fly away ginger, yeah. Well, so I just think of them as together, yeah, but it's ginger.
We were all surprised, we're like, didn't he have red hair? Yeah,
no, ginger,
this was something we would remember.
Yeah, no, I said red, but I just meant for me, red can also be interchangeable with ginger. So it's a gingery red, so no, that pale.
Not quite as bright as Dragon.
Definitely not. No, nowhere near her. She's somewhere else completely.
Yeah.
So what didn't you like? What didn't I finish that you had really wished I would have?
I think the difficulty is, I've been saying it to the other people, we've all written the book in our heads 10 times.
I know. So, and that's why there was no way I could ever fulfill what everyone would want.
I think coming to terms with the book we're reading as opposed to the book in our head, it's never going to answer all the questions.
And it's hard. I mean, it's hard because... Go on.
For most of the part, I wasn't upset.
Except?
I don't know.
I can see there's an except.
No, it was... I'm still sort of...
processing it, yeah.
So it's interesting.
I actually went into it with the only things like I just want Rushton and Elspeth to end up together. If that happens, I can cope. But I really loved it because there was a lot of things I guessed, like just from analysing things, but the journey of how you got from not like from the start to the end, so I could not have picked the twists and turns of how she got there. It was like I loved it. I was like, yep, got that bit right, and I got that bit right. I'm excited.
In fact, some people guessed, and people sometimes guessed online, and they were so accurate. One thing after another they guessed, and I think, how could they possibly guess that?
But I think you're going to get a lot of people saying, but you said the Destroyer was in book 1. You're going to get that.
That is a question. Is there a mini like reference to Lidge Baby somewhere?
Say again?
Is there a slight reference to Lidge Baby in book 1, or was it like Ariel as the destroyer who brings destruction to her mind?
I can't. If I'd said it, I'd found a way to make it so in my mind. But I was trying at different times really hard to not make things obvious. Like I didn't want anyone to guess about
No one
Lidge
guessed
Baby.
it out. No one guessed it out.
And there was a guy online the other day, and he said something. I really wonder who the destroyer is, and I really wonder what happens to Lidge Baby in the next paragraph. And I thought, oh my God, it's that close. And so that's
I did guess that Lidge Baby was the static. Yeah, because I'm just like
because it was exactly the same description. I was trying to resonate to the descriptions of.
The funny thing was the posts we got going. Every second one is Elspeth is so tense.
I know.
As soon as I saw that, she goes. As soon as I read that, she goes, "Oh, it's a machine." I went, "You've been here before. You've been."
And she's like, "It doesn't go through the ground." I'm like, "What else doesn't go through the ground, Elspeth?"
So I think.
And my PA said to me, a couple of times she said, well, I would have got it first. Like she said she got it that she would go through the floor of the hub. And I wouldn't have got that. But she said, and she said she would have got it. And I said, well, I think that's okay for people to jump ahead of it.
They said that you're on the lowest level of the institute, and then she's in the habitat. I'm like, well, that's an elevator.
Yeah. And so, but of course she doesn't know necessarily, she wouldn't jump to those technical things. So I thought I can, and there are times when like I deliberately befuddled the sex of Lidge. I deliberately.
Yeah, I think
I
everyone
did that
thought
on.
it was a
Yeah, because Elspeth thinks it's a he, but she assumes it. And I had her assume it right from the start, from no evidence, because I knew that I wanted to obscure it. So down the track.
You did that.
Yeah, because I just didn't want there to be any possibility. But that was a bit of a cheat. That's the one thing in the books that I'd say I knew that I was trying to fudge it up a bit at the beginning so no one would
We
guess.
all know Elspeth's not the brightest button on the cardigan.
I know she isn't. When it comes to emotion, she's really, and even jumping. Yeah, and also she figures things out. Someone said a really nice thing. One of the interviewers said. She said what she liked about the character of Elspeth is that she really plods her way through thinking processes sometimes, and that you see where her mind is moving, and she gets it wrong. And there are times when I've thought, okay, I don't want her to think this, so I'm going to have to have a series of thought processes that will just befuddle this. So I have her go through a whole lot of, or else I often give her misinformation, or she comes to a wrong conclusion, and so she takes it off in a wrong direction. But I like about her character that she's always trying to do the right thing, and to stick to what she should do. But yeah.
One completely random thing that I loved was about halfway through, and Dragon tells Elspeth to hurry up, and she's like, "If you do not come now, Merriman's going to eat your pancakes." I just lost it. I thought that was hilarious.
I was laughing. I've been.
Well, that was especially for us.
I did think of like, oh my god, he eat pancakes.
But I've been teasing people who haven't got up to it. Page 631 people, page 631.
Oh yes.
I told them.
6:30 is when Damien goes to tell her. 6:31 is when he kisses her. I was just like, oh, is she finally finds out? No.
But I've been. Those of us who are a bit ahead have been telling those behind, going, okay, so just let us know when you completely give up on Elspeth. And the moment where they give up on her is when somebody tells her that Damien's in love with her, and she spends 2 pages going, no, he's not.
Yeah,
He loves Balboa.
I know.
He must be in love with Balboa, and then
Why is Balboa jealous of you then?
Yeah.
but everyone, when they get to that point, they just go head desperate. There's no hope for her.
Yeah,
I actually liked how she connected that back to Jess and potentially that coercive command to not feel it.
Yeah.
I did like that.
I would, if I'd had more time. I mean, there were things. If I'd had another, 6 months to work on it, I would have teased up a couple of threads more. That one, for instance, I would have liked to have worked that up a little bit more about why she's like she is, and why she might suppress emotions, and why she might blind herself to certain things and be numb. Because I think it happens to people. So I would have liked to work that up. There are a couple of other things I'd have loved to tease up a little bit more towards the very end.
What were the things that you were excited for people to read?
Well, that Damien one I knew that would be sort of like a big, and everyone who reads it goes berserk. So I love the reaction. And the thing that I mean, when I was reading it to Tash, the thing that she was saddest by, I was really sad she didn't live long enough to discover it wasn't so. Because it happened, and you think Sentinel's gone.
I loved that.
Yeah, I really liked that bit of the book, and I was really, I didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't know it would be like that. I knew that it was going to be, that she would deal with it in the way that she did, and I knew that there would be this kind of thing, but I didn't realise what Sentinel would be. That was a real revelation to me, and I got goosebumps when I got to that point, and I thought, I realised it was an evolved character.
I did always think that Sentinel was awake though. Like, I always knew it was Inez, but I did actually think she was awake, because I remember in this, I think it's the Stone Key, she hears a voice in that
she
tunnel
does,
for the first time. So I'm just like, I think she's already awake.
She is, yeah.
And she's meant to be collecting data, so you think she can't be going to sleep.
Yeah. Well, it was either that she was going to have gone crazy, because that's what Inez in Allhaven says.
Yes.
That, being in isolation.
Well, that's what I
she'd go
planned.
crazy.
That is what I planned. I planned that
That's what
infant
I
would be
imagined.
dealing with an insane computer. That's what I thought would happen. And it was like in Aisling for me, where I suddenly realised I thought they'd win that battle, and I thought, how can I have lost? I need them to win. And then I realised, and that was for me a huge revelation of that the limitations of their character were ethical limitations, to have invented characters that simply couldn't do the wrong thing. I was so happy when I realised, but first I was miserable. I had to get the book back. They were so mad at me. It was in galley-proof stage when I said, no, I'm sorry, I need the book back. We can't go from there.
I actually came up with this theory that if Inez was the crazy one, I was like, well, that would make Inez actually the destroyer, because the fate of the world rested in the hands of...
People came up with such seductive theories sometimes that it was just, I was never tempted to go anywhere else but where I planned to go. But I just thought, oh my God, what an awesome idea. There were just And I can't wait to start reading the fan fiction now because some of it's so good.
I was firmly of the belief that Damien would be the destroyer because Ariel's an empath as well. So Damien's emotions would be twisted because he realizes that Elspeth will never love him, and somehow Ariel will get that, and then he'll do something. Damien will do something terrible, and then will die heroically trying to fix it. That was what
Look,
happened.
I could have, if any of you laid out what you wanted to happen, and I could have written that story, I think. That, like, they could all have come to, there were many different ways it could have gone in the end. But in the end, it went the way that it went. And I was really, I can't tell anybody else because nobody's there yet. You know that how there's tremors at the end of the book? I was staying in a house on the coast, in a white house right on the edge of the coast, Christine Bonger's house, and on the very last day, I was tidying the house, and I wanted to sort of like, it was perfectly spotless, so it didn't need tidying, but I wanted to, pay homage to this place that had given me this refuge at the very end. And so I was walking, I put all the laundry and stuff, all the towels and things to dry, and I put them in the dryer, and as I come upstairs, the house started to shake, and I thought, oh my God, the washing machine's having a fit the way that hot washing machines sometimes do. So I go back downstairs and thought, isn't it funny? And I get down there and it stopped, and I thought, oh, well, it's funny. You wouldn't think it'd shake the whole house. You've got to go. Okay, and it'll shake the whole house. And as I'm walking upstairs, I thought, if I didn't know better, I'd think this was an earthquake. And the next day someone tweeted to me, did the earth move for you yesterday? And I thought, oh my God, it was an earthquake. An earthquake. Well, I was writing about earthquakes. How's that even possible? That was the eeriest thing. Eeriest. And I just, wow, that was interesting. Yeah. So that was a really surprising thing that happened. And at the very end, when they were all parting and they were going, I wasn't sure that someone, like, I haven't, if you'll notice, the two characters aren't completely sealed at the end. Are you aware of what characters those are? Right at the very end, we know what's happened to everybody. We know what's happened to everybody. And we think we know what's happened to everybody. But there are a couple of characters we don't know what's happened to.
Like, you don't know how Miriam ends or whether or not they've
we don't know how they've ended.
had a release.
Yeah.
Where would they go, though, honestly? Like, they are surrounded by
They don't have a
black
glider. They don't have a glider.
I thought the Grag was destroyed when the earthquake happened, so they actually have nowhere to go.
No, they
But
don't.
there are other people.
Yeah, there are other
That'll
people.
be weird for them
We
to
wanted to
realize.
know. We wanted
Yeah.
to know what's possibly going. Like, what happens if Elspeth and Rushton have children?
Well, my feeling is that they won't have children.
I thought
Because it was an obvious possibility, but I decided not to go there because I felt that the ability of human beings to procreate has dropped dramatically. I think it needs to in the world. I think we'll deal better with the rest of the world if there were less of us, and we could, if having a child was much more precious and much more difficult, that would be much more. I felt somebody would, because I felt that I wanted to end the book with somebody having a baby, because that would be the moment in which the future opens out.
everyone seems to think that Elspeth's pregnant throughout the book.
Yes, I
Like,
know,
Deb-
it's funny. Someone's talking about her peeing a lot.
Well, yeah,
I tweeted. It was so
yeah, we're
I said to him, I said, you've made three guesses now. I sent to some guy, you've had three guesses. Some was right, some were wrong, and one made me laugh out loud. It was that Elspeth seems to be peeing a lot.
I think we have a peeing counter. Because Deb was going, she's saying her ankles are swollen. And I'm like, it doesn't happen later. And she goes, oh no, I had swollen ankles from 8 weeks.
Yeah, no.
And
No, I don't see it that way.
But then we've been joking, if peeing is an indication of pregnancy, then Swallow's pregnant too.
Yes, yeah, no. I think in the end that it's for her. I guess they haven't had a life really, the both of them together. So I wanted that, and I'd love to see them at the end in Eden working. I'd love to see them working. And I'd love to just have a glimpse of the life they have there, because everyone will be sad because they don't go back to Overnewton. You can't go back. You can never go back. And all along she's been separating, because every step of the way she says she doesn't like that it's become a this, she doesn't like it turning, because little by little you separate from childhood, you separate from the things you love, even when you stay with them, because your age takes you away from them. So I knew that she could never go back. Even if she went back to Overnewton, she wouldn't be going back to Overnewton, because it wouldn't be, no, so she wouldn't be the place. However, there is a computer there where they're going, and they can make contact, and and I didn't say no one could come to them.
Yeah.
That was the other thing.
I suppose the thing that the one thing that troubled me a little bit was that at the end, they didn't find out that they weren't really necessary until after they were kind of cut off.
Yeah.
And
Whether they would have-
it bothers me in general because I'm
Look forward to it.
What are you coming as?
You have to find me because I'm going to be masked too, and not in the stuff that's obvious. I'm going to be masked until some way through the night. I'm going to be incognito, so I can drift around. So you can unmask me.
But I suppose the one issue that I had was, and it's an issue I have quite a bit with, I suppose it's just a main thing, that they didn't actively choose.
I know what you mean. Yes, I know.
I mean, it doesn't detract terribly because they're not unhappy, but I don't know, I'm happier when the characters will go, you know, I have an informed decision.
Yes, I think you're right, but I also think that given the choice in that moment, if you think about what life would have been for them, like what would have happened if they'd have stayed, like Russian would definitely have been drawn back to Obenton, and that's where he would have gone. Dragon would have wanted Elspeth in the pit, and she has to solve that herself. She's an adult. So in the end, in order to let those people, they're like parents in a way. They have to let them go. And I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a good point that they don't make that decision in the end. They chose it though, and they chose it. I thought I actually really liked it that she figures out only at the end, or she's told only at the end. Again, with her usual inability to figure these emotional things out, that she's been given this as a reward, which I have to think that it must be the most incredible thing in the world to live with a thing like Sentinel, and to think she'd killed it, and then to find it lived. And it felt enough for her and cared enough to bring her with it. I think she would have gone for sure, and he would absolutely have gone with her. So I think you have to imagine it out rather than. But you're right. I see what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just something I carry over from other things.
Probably, yeah.
Mostly because I work.
But think about how that would have. Yeah. No. I think it's that. If I think about it. Because a lot of it happens, like if I'd have reworked at those final times and I'd been given the time, I might have teased it out just a little bit more. But I think I still would have done the same thing in the end, because in the end, I sort of... There's a couple of things that I didn't resolve, and I didn't resolve them deliberately. One of them is that Gavin and... we don't know what's happened to them. We think they're dead. We don't know for sure. And I'm not 100% sure they are. And if they're not, then they're on her side, not on the other side of the divide. So there's that possibility. The second thing is the bird hasn't come back yet. So, the Agilian bird hasn't appeared yet. So these things are glimpses that you'll get from the past, in a way. That'll be things you'll see not from Elspeth's point of view. But if you think about what would happen to her in her life, what she would choose.
I think, she always said from the beginning she's a scout. She's
a scout, who goes ahead. Yeah.
So where she actually ends up doesn't worry me. I suppose.
They're not choosing.
I see